This video is part of the Anatomy of a Spell series, in which I break down all of the components of a spell into individual topics and dive deeper into them. You can find the full playlist for this series in the description. Today's video is about the tools of a spell. In other words, the physical objects that you use to bring your spell into creation. Most tools can be used over and over again, and they don't inherently carry their own energetic properties unless you assign or charge them for a specific purpose. So today I'm going to be breaking down what tools actually are, what they do, how they function inside of a spell, and we'll do all of this without the pressure of you feeling like you need to build a huge collection in order to cast a spell. So let's get started. So let's start with fire tools. The function of a fire tool is to either start or end energy, to cleanse, signal transformation, or to release through flame. The most common fire tool would be a candle. Candles provide steady flame, and they act as both a focal point and a source of transformative energy. They can represent a petition, a deity, or simply the spark of your intention. And then in order to start a fire, you need either matches or lighters. Now, these are the practical tools that ignite your flame. While simple, their act of lighting sets the work into motion. There are candle snuffers. A snuffer allows you to extinguish a flame in a very clean way, and it signals the conclusion of a ritual or the sealing of an intention. Incense burners or charcoal furnaces hold burning incense or resin safely, and they create smoke that can purify, carry prayers, or shift the energy of a space. Fire-safe dishes or cauldrons are used for burning herbs, papers, or other offerings. These vessels contain fire safely, and they allow you to release petitions or transform material elements without risk. Next up, we have knives and cutting tools. These can be both symbolic and practical knives that are used for boundary setting, separation, directing will, or cutting cords. Now, on the symbolic side, they would be used for things like piercing the veil, drawing energetic circles or energetic realms of energy, severing ties, making carvings or markings, or setting psychic or energetic boundaries. And then on the practical side, knives are used for making carvings or markings and cutting into things. An example of this might be an athame or athame, whichever pronunciation you prefer, which is a miniaturized ritual sword. It's a ceremonial blade that's used to direct energy and used for symbolic cutting, but not for physical cutting. It's also a symbol of authority within the spirit realms, and in tarot, this tool is represented by the suit of swords, sometimes wands as well. The athame or athame is used to define magical spaces in the same way that a wand is used, as well as to inscribe seals, sigils, and symbols into the air as part of magical operations. It's also used in the casting and closing of circles, as well as opening temporary doorways in the sacred space should you need to leave for any reason. Another type of knife would be the bowline, which is a practical knife used for harvesting herbs or carving candles. Traditionally, this is a white-handled knife made of bone or antler, but you can use any knife that you want for something like this. And there are also utility blades. These are a practical substitute for a bowline and folk magic as well for practical cutting. Divination tools are used to gain insight, guidance, or clarity before, during, or after a working. They help you read patterns, confirm timing, or understand how energy is moving in a situation. And as the name suggests, divination tools are used to help you connect with the divine in a more direct way. You have tarot cards that offer narrative and symbolic insight. These cards can help you explore psychological, emotional, or archetypal dynamics. Runes give concise guidance. It's often in the form of short symbolic messages that point to underlying energies or decisions. Pendulums are simple yes, no, or directional tools. These are used to confirm energetic questions and guide decisions. Scrying bowls and mirrors are reflective surfaces that allow for visionary or intuitive downloads. These help you receive images, impressions, or give you subtle guidance from the unseen. Crystal balls are often used in scrying. Crystal balls not only focus the vision, but can also draw in and store energy, and they act as a vessel for channeled information or intention. So all of these divination tools can be used within the context of a spell or separately, but essentially they are to check that you're on the right path, confirming timing, trying to deepen your understanding, assessing outcomes, or checking next steps. So these are a guidance tool that are used within the framework of a spell. All right, the next tool category we have are containers. This would include bowls, cups, vessels, and jars. Most common of these might be a simple water bowl, often representing the moon in spells. And if a spell calls for water, it's helpful to keep it in its own bowl designated in a certain spot on the altar. The water itself can carry special properties or be prepared in specific ways, which I'll cover more in the video I do on materials. There are offering bowls. These are ritual vessels that hold offerings for deities, spirits, ancestors, or other energies. And an offering can be anything from water, alcohol, tea, botanicals, incense, crystals, anything that's symbolically appropriate to what you're doing. Salt bowls would be bowls of rock or sea salt that act as a protective, grounding, and cleansing agent. They absorb negative energy or they neutralize the space, and you can enhance them with complementary herbs such as juniper, rosemary, cloves, or peppercorn. Traditionally, salt bowls are often black, symbolizing absorption and the earth. And here we have the chalice, representing the energy of water. Chalices can serve a purely symbolic function, or they can hold offerings. In a group ritual, a chalice might be passed around for each participant to take a sip from, and more broadly, chalices act as vessels for receptive energy. We have the mortar and pestle, which is used to grind, crush, or blend herbs, roots, resins, and botanicals, and this tool symbolizes the combining of energies. It's commonly used for making potions, powders, incense, or any work that requires merging intentions or materials. And beyond the type of container, you can also consider the material of the container. Metal conduct energy, stone is grounding, glass is neutral, and some bowls are carved from crystals like selenite, which add their own energetic properties. So next up, I have a different type of container listed here. I'm going to call this section spell ingredient containers. These are jars, boxes, and locking tools that are actually going to hold the contents of the spell for a longer period of time. So these types of containers are for holding, protecting, or transforming the energy over time. And unlike a candle or a fireworking, which release energy very quickly, containers allow a spell to work very slowly and very steadily. And they're meant to maintain focus and influence for long after the initial working. These containers are ideal for slow working magic, long-term manifestation, ongoing influence, containment, or charging a spell over time. Spell jars, this could include mason jars, sour jars, honey jars. These jars are versatile vessels for layering ingredients, combining symbolic items, or holding petitions. For example, honey jars are traditionally used to sweeten relationships or situations over time, and they're stored at a specific location. Lock boxes, so small lockable boxes can hold petitions, charms, or other items that need to remain sealed or protected. And the lock itself is symbolic of containment, security, and restriction, which makes it ideal for protection or binding work. Charm bags or small packets are portable fabric-based containers that hold herbs, crystals, or other items. These are often worn, carried, or kept close, and they allow the spell to travel with you while maintaining its energy. You can also have wax-sealed containers, so any jar, bag, or box sealed with wax to close and protect the working would be under this category. Wax seals are often color-coded and can serve as an additional layer of energetic locking, symbolically setting the intention and preventing energy from leaking out. But at their core, all of these types of containers operate on the same principle. You place a specific intention or energy inside a vessel, you seal it, and you allow it to continuously radiate or influence its target over time. Next up, we have statues and representative objects. These are physical representations for deities, ancestors, spirits, archetypes, and energies that you are trying to tap into. These are meant to give form to an energy or presence that is otherwise non-physical. So, these objects can channel a specific presence, they can embody a target, or they can just simply serve as a focal point of the altar. Saint statues would be one example of this. These are used across folk magic and Catholic traditions to invite in a saint's virtues, protection, or intercession into the work. Animal figures can represent instincts, qualities, or allies, like, for instance, the owl for wisdom, or the bull for strength, or the cat for protection and liminality. Symbols of nature, such as pine cones, stones, feathers, these objects will carry the essence of the natural world. They can signal growth, grounding, movement, elemental support. Photographs or ancestral tokens, so these anchor ancestral presence. They create a bridge between your spell work and the lineage or spirit that you're calling on. Dolls or puppets, these are used in representational magic to stand in for a specific person or energy, either the target of the spell or the caster themselves. Any personal object that represents the work. So this could be anything that's meaningful. It symbolizes what you're doing. It may be something you were gifted during a very specific part of your life, or something that conjures up a certain feeling or memory for you. Now we have crystals and stones. So crystals and stones act as amplifiers, stabilizers, filters, and energy storage. On an altar, they can serve as little energetic specialists. Each one brings a particular quality that supports the spell that you are doing. And of course, crystals, they're very flexible tools. You can use them on altars in many different ways. You can place them to represent a specific energy that you want in the space. So, for example, you might want to use a tiger's eye for courage, selenite for clarity, obsidian for protection, etc. You can also pair them with other tools, like setting a crystal next to a tarot card to reinforce that card's message or archetype. They can be used as offerings to a spirit, deity, or ancestor. They can be used as a way to create a boundary or perimeter, so you can place crystals around the altar's edge for protection or containment. You can also build a crystal grid when you want to amplify or broadcast an intention through structure and pattern. And crystal grids are a separate subject in and of itself, but they are an intentional arrangement of crystals that are placed in a sacred geometric pattern, and it's used to amplify energy for a specific purpose, such as healing, manifestation, or protection. So once you create this energy field with with a different collection of crystals, you can use that energy field for a specific purpose. Next, we have wands, rods, or pointers. These are directional tools for challenging intention outwards. So they direct energy, you can trace paths, focus will towards a target. The wand is a tool of invocation, so it's used to evoke the gods, goddesses, and spirits. It is also used to bestow blessings, charge objects, and draw down the moon during rituals. It can represent either air or fire. Some examples of different types of wands would be the wooden wand. This is traditionally crafted from sacred woods like hazel, oak, willow, or apple, and each type of wood carries its own meaning or signature, giving the wand a distinct personality or purpose. The crystal wand, which would be made from a material like selenite or quartz. These wands amplify intention, they conduct energy cleanly, and they are often used for healing, charging, or clearing. A staff or rod is used in ceremonial traditions. This is essentially a larger wand, and it's used similarly, but it's chosen for authority, grounding, or channeling energy on a very large scale. A staff can also be struck rhythmically on the ground to activate or anchor ritual space. You can also use finger or hand gestures. In many folk traditions, the body itself becomes the tool, so pointing, tracing symbols, snapping, or making specific hand signs can direct energy just as effectively as any wand. Sound and vibration tools are used to shift the atmosphere, break stagnant energy, and clearly mark the beginning or ending of a working. They function as tools for clearing, banishing, resetting a space, altering your psychic state so that you can drop into your ritual more easily. And because sound travels, vibrates, and carries, these tools are often connected to the air element, with the element of communication and movement, and the unseen pathways that energy travels through. And sound, it can move energy in a way that physical tools cannot. It disperses, it purifies, it awakens, and it really sharpens your intuition. So one example of a sound tool would be a bell. These are used to break up stagnant energy, call in spirits or guides, or signal transitions within a ritual. Singing bowls are also very powerful. They create deep, resonant tones that cleanse the space. They can induce a trance or stabilize the energy. Chimes give off light, airy tones that disperse negativity, and they create openness in a room. Tuning forks deliver very precise frequencies to balance, attune, or tune the energetic field. Rain sticks can call in flow, release, or emotional movement, and they are often used to create a specific atmosphere before spell work. Drums provide a low grounding rhythm. They raise your energy, or they can support journeying and trance states. And you can also use your body as a tool. Clapping, snapping, chanting. You can break your energy, mark a boundary, command a shift through the sound created by your own body. All right, next up we have cleansing tools. So cleansing tools reset the atmosphere of a space so that what you're about to do isn't competing with what came before. You can remove the old air, old atmospheric clutter, old noise. You can cleanse through smoke, through scent, airflow, or through a physical sweeping of the room. So I'll start with some smoke, scent, and airflow tools. These tools cleanse by lifting and dispersing energy so that the space feels open and breathable again. We have incense. It's a light, continuous cleansing. It's good for maintaining an atmosphere. Herbal smoke sticks. These are a little bit stronger. They're targeted cleansing using specific herbs. People commonly use sage sticks for this. You can use resins on charcoal. This is potent purification for heavier work. There are smudge fans or feathers, which can accompany smoke tools, and they can direct and shape the smoke and guide the cleansing exactly where you want it. So you would direct the smoke into a specific direction with these fans or feathers. There are also different types of brooms and sweep tools that you can use, and these work through physical motion to clear away stagnant energy and leftover energy from the prior day or the prior ritual cycle. You could have a besom, which is a traditional broom. It sweeps the energetic surface of the room, not necessarily the physical floor. There are herbal sweep bundles. So these are brooms that are made with cleansing herbs, and they are used either symbolically or physically. And then you can get smaller hand brooms or whisk brooms, which are great for altar surfaces or smaller ritual spaces. You can sweep tabletops with these. Other cleansing tools not in the above categories could be salt. This absorbs and neutralizes heavy or disruptive energy. Selenite wands, or really selenite in any form. You can comb through the aura and cleanse objects with a steady dissolving energy. You can also use eggs for limpia. It's used in many folk traditions to draw out energetic buildup, emotional residue, or spiritual blockages. But overall, cleansing tools, they really create a clean slate so the spell doesn't have to fight through old energy, and it's really also resets your mind. They set the stage, they prepare the room for whatever intention comes next. So that really covers the tool categories, but I also wanted to add another section in here to talk about consecration, charging, and maintenance of tools. So if you're not aware, consecration is the moment a tool officially enters your practice. It's almost like a little initiation for that tool. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It just needs to be intentional and consistent. So an example of this might be a simple blessing with water, smoke, or spoken words. A symbolic activation like ringing a bell over the tool. A formal consecration rite from your tradition if you work within one. And the goal is to mark the tool as dedicated to your work rather than just an object from your home. And again, you don't have to do this, but really, like spell work, rituals, they're about intentionality. So if we're going to be intentional about every step of the way. And this is just another way to do that. You can also charge your tools. So charging infuses the tool with purpose, or it refreshes its energy after use. People commonly think of charging in relation to charging your crystals. So this is related to that, but you can also charge any of your tools. Some methods to do this would include placing the tool in sunlight or moonlight to align it with natural cycles. You can pass it through incense or around a flame. You can use focused visualization to set its function. You can breathe over it if you're into breath work. And then, of course, there's the actual practical cleaning of your tools. Tools accumulate they accumulate dust just like everything else. Cleaning keeps them functional and neutral when you need them to be. And then there's also retirement. So every tool has a lifespan. If something feels spent, cracked, if it's mismatched with your personal mindset, if it no longer resonates, if it starts to become associated with time periods of your life that are maybe distracting you during a ritual, then it might be time to retire it with respect. So if it's a natural material, you can bury it. You can break it and dispose of it intentionally. You can return it to nature if it's appropriate. You can come up with some kind of a ceremonial disposal method if you want. But retiring a tool is its own ritual. It doesn't always have to be done, but you'd probably know when it's time to do that. The next video I'm going to do is going to be on the materials of a spell. These are items that will be expended during the process of a spell. But if you haven't, please check out the playlist, the full playlist for the Anatomy of the Spell series. There's more to come, but I've also done a lot of videos on every step of a spell up until this point. So please check that out. If this breakdown sharpened your own practice, please subscribe for more deep dives into the mechanics of spellcraft. And drop a comment with the tools that you can't work without.